everybody. This is Dr. Jessica Emery. Welcome to the Dental Diaries podcast. I am so excited to be here today with Dr. Anissa Holmes. I have known her, for a long time now, I feel like, and we'll get into that. But I don't even think she needs an introduction, but for anyone that is not familiar with her, she is the founder of Delivering Wow, the #1 marketing and practice growth program in the dental industry. And based on her success, she's been featured in so many publications, from Entrepreneur Magazine, Dental Economics, the list goes on and on and on. She is a practicing dentist, a business acceleration coach, social media strategist, podcaster, and best-selling author. So there is so much goodness here. I would love for you, so welcome. I would love, yes. I would love for us to just kind of kick it off with where you are right now and then kind of reverse engineer it and go all the way back. Because I recall listening to you years and years ago when you first started your podcast. And you have come so far in your journey and are just changing so many lives right now. But it didn't start that way back when. So can you just talk a little bit about where you are now with your Dental Boss group that you just kind of made some big strides and a pivot post-COVID and kicked off this amazing group? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Right, absolutely. So what's been happening lately is really me, and I love this podcast and the whole concept, is really getting into a zone of knowing what your purpose is and really going all for it and going for what makes you happy and what's fun, right? And so for me, I had this vision, and I'll go back a little bit, just like a short bit.
Yeah.
Is that like 4 years ago, many of you guys know that I had my Delivering Well Facebook group, right? So we grew it. And the whole purpose of that group, Jess, was I started my podcast. I was actually the first dentist, female podcaster in our industry. And when I started the podcast years ago, I thought, man, it'd be so cool if the people I'm interviewing, who are like gods, right? Like nobody had an opportunity to even know who these people were, because we'd only see them when we go and travel and get on an airplane.
Right.
And so I said, well, it'd be so cool if I could get them in a Facebook group. Again, they were just starting, so that dentists and teams, could connect with them. There could be this conversation so they could get helped. And so that was the whole purpose. And we actually started one of the first dental Facebook groups as well. And so it evolved over time. But what's really interesting, and I mean, this kind of connects with what you do and what you're really known for, which is what is your culture? What do you want? How do you want to help people? Like, what do you want people to say about you when you're not around? And like all of that kind of stuff, right? And so for me, I started to look at like the culture of Facebook groups. And honestly, I wasn't happy with what I saw, and including my own Facebook group. And so what it had become was this sort of place where people would, say, well, this is what I've done. Oh yeah, really? Well, this is what I've done. So you'd have a lot of one-upping. Mm-hmm. You'd have people sincerely asking for help and getting answers.
Sure.
And you would have also people who would, be in there pitching their stuff, and like, it just was not where I wanted to spend my time. And so I said, you know what? I have this vision for a dental Facebook group where people could just come together and be frickin' dental bosses. Like, be able to come in and say, I have had a really hard day today, and I don't even know where to start. Or, I am looking for help with this. And you have people literally spend 10, 20 minutes giving you your response for those who have that ability and time to actually help you. And so that was my goal, to bring people together to really just have a place where we can be real and vulnerable and grow each other's businesses together. And honestly, I'm so excited that is actually what, we've had our new group now for about a month. And it's crazy. Like, people are in there, they're celebrating their wins. When someone asks a question, there's like literally sometimes 80 50 responses, people typing out, this is what you can do. This is what worked for me. Here's my checklist. And it's pretty awesome. It's
Yes.
freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And that's what dental Facebook groups should be. And so I'm really, really excited. It's called Dental Boss Movement.
Yeah.
And dentalbossmovement.com. And so it's just a great place for dentists to come together. It's spam free. Once a week, we have a lesson that I give, and it could be a life lesson, something I'm doing in my practice, something that I see that's helped others. And once a week, we're actually interviewing dental bosses that are rocking it, and they're sharing their story from this sucked and I was not a good leader to like now I have an awesome team, and like this is the journey that I actually had to go through. And so it's been pretty awesome.
Yeah, people's journeys I think are so important because like you said, the one upping and all of that, like we've all freaking been there, like, you know, in a spot and needing help and all of that. Like I love the stories because when people see you and they think success, it's like we all start somewhere. We've all been through the same things. So to support and rise up, you know, together. And I watched you certainly during the, you know, the COVID time, really, wow, after your summit. And I know you were exhausted. So I was in New Orleans, everybody for her summit in early March. And you worked so hard to pull that together and lots of people were there, but then came back to this crazy storm and you really stepped up, stepped in and led dentists through that. And I watched every day, every hour from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and probably midnight some nights with you coming in and helping, my gosh, with everything from everything. I don't know, loans to how to deal with the teams and everything. So I'm sure
that time was really special. And
yes.
I think that's kind of what led me to be empowered to kind of make this big pivot. And you're absolutely right. Like Summit happened and that was incredible in and of itself because the world was shutting down. And I'm like, what, what am I going to do? Should I cancel in the middle of the event? Because that's when things were shutting down. And people are like, we're here. We came to learn. We are all in.
Yes.
When we leave here, we'll deal with what's happening outside, but we're here now. And it was really special. It was a really special. I think we've had other events. I've been to many dental events. There was something special about this event. But literally the day that it closed down, or the event, we were finished with the event, I flew out the next day. The next day I was on a Facebook Live.
Right.
And, that week, every day interviewing experts about how we're going to close our practice, how we're going to communicate. But I think what was really like so awesome for me is like we have our Delivering Well coaching platform, right? I've been coaching practices virtually for 5 years. Like this is how we deliver coaching. This is how we're helping. We figured out how to get people to be able to grow even $1 million in revenue by doing virtual coaching weekly. And so we had this platform. And so I'm like, you know what, like, let me step in and just like give it away. And so essentially, we gave over 900 practices access for a month, and actually ended up extending it for another month to our coaching platform. And they started building systems and training their team, understanding how to market, like we were running marketing campaigns together. And so that was awesome. And then our coaching clients that are in our program, as you know, those practices, we were doing 4-hour workshops for them every day. Like, we have this gift of time. Let's go ahead and like dive in and learn how to use Asana. Let's learn, and a lot of those, they were doing other things. A lot of those people also went through, as you know, your brand boot camp. And so people were focusing on things that they did not have the ability or they weren't thinking about before. And so those practice owners now, like, I'm so excited about what they're doing because like right now they're freaking rock stars, and many of them are producing way more than they would have ever before. And so I've been so empowered because like, I think I gave every little piece of my last bit of energy. And I'm still giving, and I'm looking forward to next month. Actually, I'm going to take a little time.
That was my question.
And actually go with my daughter. They did allow for her to do 2 weeks of dance in New York. So we're going to go to New York for 2 weeks. And then my husband and I are going to go to this place called Rock House in the Grill. It's so amazing. There's like these beautiful, it's rustic, but it's like nice. And each room is like like its own little hut outside, and you have like a bathroom outside. Anyway,
What?
we're gonna do that. So I'm looking.
Oh, that's amazing.
But yeah, like we've been pushing, but I remember when I built my last practice, I built like 4 practices over the years. That's a whole nother story.
Right.
But my plumber, I remember one time, he was the plumber and he was always there. And I'm like, why are you always here? Like, no, he was an electrician. I'm like, your work is done. And he's like, somebody needs to be here all the time, just making sure that everything's okay. If people want to deliver stuff. He's like, Dr. Holmes, when there's work, you work.
I love it.
And I was like, the last few months, I mean, I know you stepped it up as well, having, your brand boot camps, showing people how to use Canva. Like my team learned so much from you on how to, like, I'm looking at our grid on Instagram. I'm like, our Instagram is so good. Like, and so like, that's the thing. Like, that's what leaders do. Leaders lead. And when there's work to do, you work, and so, yeah, it's been a really interesting few months, right, but super gratifying. I know the same thing for you. Like, we chat all the time, and like how you've been able to help practices over the last few months as well has been like so special as well. I know people are eternally grateful.
Well, it's been so good. I loved it so much. So I know how you feel, and like I said, I watched the group rise up, and there is nothing better than that. Like I said, them feeling so incredibly empowered, and how they've stepped in and really started to love life and dentistry again, and it's just new eyes, right? And seeing things, and it's been so good. But yeah, that time was amazing. I didn't, like you, in a different way. I mean, I lived here at the Sorority Space for sure, and was so excited, just creating like different things, anything I could to get in front of people, because we had them, in the time to try to get them to step in. But I know you did. I was actually here at Soiree for your, you did a kids funnel course, which I brought my kids to in hopes that they would spend that downtime. That was in the beginning of it. I was thinking that I was going to make them little funnel makers by the end, and then have little online businesses, and we'd be good to go. But that didn't happen. But so you're known as like the funnel queen, and I'm sure a lot of people listening, and I didn't know prior to meeting you either, really what a funnel was. And this is your passion. So do you want to talk about what it is and what you do for kind of teaching?
So I love a few things in dentistry. I love helping leaders become leaders. I love inspiring teams to come together to take things off of the doctor's plate. That's why in our programs, we train teams for hygiene, profitability, and systems, and case acceptance, and verbal skills, and like all that stuff. But I also love marketing. And the reason why I love marketing is that marketing is how patients who are looking for us, right, or maybe not looking for us, but actually need us, that's how they actually find us. And over the years, I have had countless patients come to me and they say, thank you for what you're doing on social media, because I have been afraid to go to the dentist for years. And some of them say, I've been following you for a year or years. Mm-hmm. And I've been sending people to you, but I have been so afraid. And finally, I got the courage to come in. And so when I say, is there somebody whose life that you want to change? Yes. Have you developed the ability to help people? Yes. Did you make a decision to have an art or a skill to be able to help and change people's lives? Yes. Do they need to find you so you can help them? Yes. Well, we need to market. Okay. So now we have that understanding. And so what a funnel is, many people know, like, I love social media. What I teach with social is like, and it's very interesting because like we both do social, but it's a different angle. Right. Like for you, you're like, how can we create beautiful content that grabs people's attention?
The bow on the present.
Right. How can we create beautiful photos? How can we, like, what story are we telling? And so like you are the expert at that, right? What I do is very complementary, and that I'm the strategist of how we're going to get 10,000 people to see what you just did, right?
Yeah.
Or how we're going to get your community to connect with you and actually have a conversation with you. And so married together, like I think what we do, you know, for many doctors, I know they work with both of us, like they're unstoppable, right? And so one of the things that we do with social media marketing is, in addition to getting in front of people, is also having the ability to market to people, not only today, but in the future. And how we do that is actually by collecting email addresses, right? So an example of a funnel is, say, for example, we're doing a coloring contest, right? Now, why would we want to do a coloring contest? Well, we'd want to do that because kids are at home. And so, like, let's do something fun and get the kids involved, right? And so we do a coloring contest, right? And we can do that in our practice as well. And so we can put up flyers, we can have coloring sheets, kids come into the practice and we give them the coloring sheets, and so they can participate, they can go in for a prize, right? And then what happens after that is we can also do it on social. And so for them to download the coloring sheet, they have to give us their email, all right? Now, what happens after that is that they get the coloring sheet, we have their email, now we can continue to send them emails. So here's your coloring sheet. Email number 2, here's a little bit about our practice and what we're known for, right? And so if you have beautiful photos, maybe you've been to one of Jess's workshops or you've done stuff with her, you've got beautiful photos, then now you can insert those beautiful photos and you can say, here's a little bit about our practice story. This is how we help people, right? The next email can talk about the services that you can provide, right? Or a funnel could be something like my team member, every week we do Tooth Talk Thursdays. We actually implemented this through COVID, right? Other practices started doing it. It's just awesome. If you're not doing it, start doing it. So Tooth Talk Thursday is a Facebook Live on your Facebook page, and you're talking about anything dentistry, right? And so you're establishing yourself as the authority. And so we had a few weeks ago, Saskia, my assistant, do one on Invisalign. And she did one on Invisalign. Sorry, my computer is looking like I don't know what's going on with the charger. Guys, that's what happens when you're doing a podcast. All of a sudden, strange things start to happen. And my charger, it is charging, but it's not charging.
Oh, no.
That is so strange. Okay, we're going to have to take a pause because otherwise we're going to lose ourselves.
Perfect.
It's plugged in, but it's not charging. That's super strange.
That is strange.
Okay, we're good. We're back. That's the great thing about being on a podcast.
Well, and awesome. Also, we didn't mention too that you're in Jamaica, which, you know, for anyone that doesn't know, which is pretty incredible that you've done all this from there.
Pretty awesome.
Yes.
So back to Saskia. All right. So Saskia is doing a Facebook Live, and she's talking about Invisalign, right? So cool. She has the scanner, and she's showing people how you can come in and see what your teeth would look like before you do it, because we have the iTero scanner. We have a Trios as well, but we have the iTero. So she's demonstrating this, right? She's talking about Invisalign, the difference between Invisalign and braces. Then what we do is she'll say, if anyone wants to know if you're a candidate for Invisalign, there's a quick quiz that you can take, right? Or maybe she didn't say that we might have put that in the copy. So basically it'll have information and it'll say, if you want to know if you're a candidate, click here. So we ran a Facebook ad that led them to a page that essentially gave them more information about Invisalign. They could take a quick quiz, right? How many what's your biggest problem? Like food is getting stuck, like they're answering that. And then from there, again, we get their email and now we can send them emails about Invisalign. So that's essentially what a funnel is. Definitely not necessary in marketing, but I can tell you my funnel audience was so huge because I told this story actually on another podcast. I actually have been collecting emails through running these types of marketing campaigns for maybe about 3 years now. And I will essentially, like, I'll set it up and it's real easy. Like it takes just an hour or two to set this up. We'll send them out 4 or 5 emails. And then I've never done anything with the email list, like in all of transparency. And it's because we get so many patients without like emailing these patients.
Yep.
Anyway, long story short, COVID comes and we're ready to open back up. I realized I've got 17,000 people
Oh my gosh.
over the years that we've collected emails from little Facebook things that we're doing, right? Running ads for implants and Invisalign. So now I email all of these people and I'm like, we are open for broken teeth, broken fillings, broken crowns. And all of a sudden, now our schedule is full, right?
Awesome.
I didn't have to run any Facebook ads. I didn't have to do any Google ads. I didn't have to spend for any mailers. I had my email list. And so now we are actually going to be doing some really new cool stuff. I've started a YouTube channel for Delivering Wow. I'm so excited. Dental Boss TV. And I'm like, guys, I told them actually this morning we had our weekly level 10 meeting with me and my team. And I was like, guys, we're going to start a YouTube channel. We've been doing Dental Boss. We've been doing Tooth Talk Thursday. It's essentially the same thing. We're going to start a YouTube channel. And then now we can take our videos from our YouTube channel and we can send them out to our email list.
Oh my God.
When we have a new episode. Oh, good. So
like,
good. Yeah.
Thinking about your teams too. I'm like, can't they even make their Tooth Talk Thursdays into their YouTube channels?
So that's the thing. So my team was like, well, can't we just repurpose it? And I was like, yes, we can.
Yes.
So what we're doing is we're just going to download the videos. We're obviously going to edit so it doesn't have that first part that says, hi, we're doing a Facebook Live.
Right.
But yeah, like we already have content where we're just going to edit them. And by the way, like I'm learning a lot about YouTube right now. I did not know anything about YouTube at all. And what I did what I always do when I want to learn something and I don't want to waste time, I hired a coach. Yeah, I hired a YouTube coach because I wanted to do it the right way from the beginning. And so the person that I hired also does YouTube for some pretty big YouTubers. And so like they're helping me and so
amazing.
And so like even like when you start looking at how are you going to do YouTube, like even if you don't have a YouTube coach, like go and watch like Dental Boss TV and you'll see like what a proper edit is supposed to look like and what a proper intro is. And so we're actually using dental practice. And there are companies, you can hire somebody to do your editing for you. But yeah, like I know we're going down a rabbit hole of all different types of marketing here that we not intend to talk about. But let's talk about it's real. Like this is what I'm actually doing in my practice right now, which is innovating and being creative and doing some really cool stuff. And actually in my intro for Dental Boss TV, I have my little intro. So I come on and like, I'll ask a question like, or maybe it could be in dentistry. Have you ever wondered how you can replace those dark lines at the top? Well, today I'm going to show you exactly how, right? And then you have like a little video. And in my video for Dental Boss TV, I actually have like scenes from when I was in Chicago doing some of my photo shoots and stuff like that. I'm like holding up the sign. Yeah. So you definitely all integrates in together. So
are you working with Marley?
It is not Marley.
No, okay. Because she's been in dentistry, but she's a huge.
So interestingly, Marley and I were supposed to work together. And so I hired Marley as well. Actually, I hired her as well. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, that's what we do when we want to grow faster. So I hired Marley and I actually was supposed to fly out and do a bunch of YouTube videos with Marley. We created like whole content strategy. They wrote scripts for everything. And COVID hit, we could not record. And so I'm like, punt, okay, who else can I use? And so the other person I used was like, no, you don't want to pre-record because you want to listen to what's happened. It's just a different strategy. You want to listen to what's happening right now. And so we essentially are publishing a new video every week. And it's really based on what I see in Dental Boss movement and struggles that people have. So people are like, I'm like this week's, we launched one today as we're recording. And it was about scorecards and numbers and how do you, and like last week was like, what was last week? I think last week was like it's been a lot of post-COVID, like how do you get cash flow in fast or how do you schedule? So it's been super relevant. So I really love this strategy. Great thing is I've got a lot of the content already that Marley and I mapped out. So that's going to make it even better.
And so yeah, also people that just don't know who Marley is, because we're talking about Marley Jacks is an amazing human being and incredible. She was actually in dentistry. So that's what makes that, I think, so cool. She was a dental hygienist, right? And then she stepped into her passion, out of hygiene and into her passion, which is video. And she is absolutely amazing. I was just in Nashville listening. Dr. Anissa as well as Marley were on stage talking at that at Funnel Hackers Live to 5,000 people, which was amazing. I tell everyone to go. I'm like, that was just life-changing. It was so good. But that's
pretty good stuff.
That's who Marley is. Yeah, doing amazing things. It's so cool, people in dentistry too, that, like you said, pivots and are doing the dentistry and doing amazing things too. Are you still practicing at all? I know you're running your team.
So actually, interestingly, this is the story. This is the truth, the real story. So I started to get a little bored. So I got a little bored, and what I realized my real issue is that I like to solve really hard problems. And I had already figured out how to do a filling. So I was like, all right, cool. I need to learn how to do complex restorative. So that became my thing. And I became known in my community as the top dentist for doing really hard cases. So anything was hard, any general dentist would send it to me. We don't have a prosthodontist in our area. And then eventually those got really easy for me.
Yes.
And so I started doing delivering well. And then it was like, now all of a sudden I can be in my creative space. I'm like, how can I teach this better? How can I help, like, set an internal goal? Like, how can I help practices get from 10 new patients a month to 50 while only spending $500? Like, I did it. How can I duplicate that for them? Or how can I I want practices to grow by $1 million in a year. Like, how can I do that? So then how can I create that program? And so like, I got super excited because we started doing it. And I'm like, man, I want more time.
You need
and
time.
So eventually what happened, it was like, all right, I'm going to work 2 days a week on delivering well. And then I was like, interestingly, I'm putting in the same systems I'm teaching in my practice, and we're making more money, and I'm actually working less. Isn't that interesting? And so that path continued until my 20th year of practicing dentistry, which was 1.5 years ago. The beginning of the year, I said to myself, if you can utilize the frameworks that you teach, whiteboards, level 10 meetings, scorecards, using Asana, right? If you can use those foundational frameworks, which are the core foundational frameworks of what we developed in my program, I'm going to use myself as a test. If we can double our practice's profits in 1 year, then I will give myself permission to retire and do delivering well full time. And so I did not tell my dental team at all. This was internal. I did it with myself. I went away for December, again, with my daughter to dance to New York.
Sure.
My son went to play squash. I came back after Christmas. I was gone. I think I worked 2 days. And I said, how was December? Right? How was December? Asking my team, and my second in command, not even my office manager, my second says, it was great, Dr. Holmes. Our doctor production per visit doubled in week 13 of quarter 4, and our profits were Y, whatever the profits were. And I was like,
did it?
I thought she was going to say, like, we had a good month. Like, that's a normal response. Oh, we had a good month, right? Sure. She was so doggone specific. She was so specific that I was just like, we did it. Like, if my second, not even my office manager, in casual conversation was able to speak to me in that way, we did it.
Sure.
And I said, guys, we did it. And they were like, what? I'm like, we did it. I'm like, we're there. This practice can run on systems and tools, a great team that are all leaders and empowered. You know what to do. Accountability is in place. Our marketing is on.
Right.
We're on fire. And I said, I'm going to retire. And they're like, when? And I said, next week. Like, I'm going to retire next week. And they were like, you know what? We know what you're doing to help dentists.
They've watched you,
is so impactful, and we know, like, we're good. My associates were like, we are good. You go and lead and you help others to achieve what we've been able to do here. And we've been able to help. I mean, we've been doing this for years. Like, because they love when they go to a conference and people go to them like, your doctor helped me so much. They're like, we want to hear more of those stories, right? So we started doing that. And so we've grown our programs. That led me to have the time to develop the Platinum Mastermind. And so that cleared my space. So now we do, I proclaim it, the #1 marketing and practice growth program in the industry, because it's not just me leading, right? Josie's there as well, like has experience building practice from 0 to $30 million, right? You're teaching the business side of dentistry. We have a marketing coach. We have a coach for leadership, a dental assistant coach, helping dentists become not passive, but active dental assistants. We have a hygiene profitability coach. We have a coach for insurance coordinators, right? So every month being able to really holistically train the entire practice while I'm working with mindset and leadership with the teams, doctors, and letting the doctors know you need to delegate and elevate. Let us train your office managers. We train office managers for the doctor to take that off of their plate. Practices are growing. They're growing significantly, right? And partnering with people like you who are able to come in and would say, by the way, this is amazing. Go and get your photo shoot done with Jess, or, different things like that. And it's just been really, 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 really good. And I'm in a happy place. That was the best decision I ever made. My team, I was in my office today, like Tuesdays are my dental practice days. So I'm in there. We have our weekly level 10 meeting, which is what I teach. We look at our scorecard every week. We talked about our marketing today and what we're going to be doing so that's what I do in my practice. And that's how I coach teams. And so I'm very, very hands-on in my practice, not doing the teeth, but in terms of creating new systems and processes and testing. And what we do in our practice, what works, I share it with others. And for them. And so that's kind of what I've been working on for the last years.
Right? I know all these like pivots, just everything just keeps getting better and building and building and building. Is your Facebook Mastery program, it's still up, right? And live?
It is. So now our full suite of products, if you call it that, we have our Dental Boss TV, which is our YouTube channel. So every single week, a new episode, and that's free tips, free training every week, launching. There's checklists. So if you go and I'm talking about scorecards, you'll get a free scorecard checklist. So lots of great resources. We have our book, we have our podcast, we have our Dental Boss Movement Facebook group. And then from there, our paid programs, we have our marketing and practice group challenge. And that's a 3-week challenge. We're running a social media campaign, helping you to, again, get hundreds or thousands of people to see your practice in just a matter of a week. Right. Helping you with your marketing plan, setting up one of our frameworks, which is Whiteboard. So that program that's like a $47 challenge. So super low.
I just saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we make that so that way we can help everyone. Right. So some people are like, well, I don't have the ability to invest in high dollar coaching. Get in a $47 program. I'll help you there. Right. Yeah. And then from there, if you want to learn Facebook specifically, we have our Facebook program, and that includes now calls on funnels. So we teach that. And then we have from there our different programs. So our Platinum Masterminds, our full year coaching program, where you get an accountability coach. I'm working directly with you. We work directly with your team leads. We have training on every aspect of the practice. And then we have our Gold, which is a training program where it's an online, you go in and you have training. But even with that, we now have a success coach. We do monthly marketing campaigns with you at that level as well. And so different suite of products, depending on what you're looking for, we have the ability to help you. And so, yeah, it's been really, really busy, really rewarding. But even with everything, like how do you do great things great? You have a great vision and you have a great team to support you, and you put in great systems. And so that's how we're able to still deliver like a YouTube and a podcast, and I'm on coaching calls, and I've got doctors boxing me who are actually in my inner circle, which is an invite only 12-member mastermind. Like even this morning, doctor's like, I'm doing this stuff with my hygiene team. What do you think? Should I add this, this new way of paying them? And like, we're hashing it out, right? It's really cool. I'm really happy, Jess. I'm really happy, as you can tell. Like, I'm really happy with where I am. I'm happy that I have the ability to also be able to be a good role model for my family, to be able to have my family see what I'm doing, to be able to help others, and to have been able to also create a business, not one business, but two businesses that support me being able to have time for my children. And honestly, that's what being a dental boss is all about. It's about not having to choose,
right?
Not having to choose between being a business owner and being a mom. It's saying I can do both, and I can have the life that I want and guilt-free about taking a vacation, guilt-free about self-care, guilt-free about buying that rock-ass car that you want.
No, that's okay. We're all about that.
Right? Because you know what? We have one life. And when you create a great business, you are able to empower people and help them to elevate. And you're also able to do more for your family. And honestly, like, again, that's what being a dental boss is all about. You're rocking it. You're a dental boss. You're finding a way to do your passion. And I admire you so much. And you know that. Like, we've been before, and I'm Jess, like, you don't even know your capabilities. And like, I'm a visionary. So I don't know, from a little girl, I remember seeing things. Sometimes I saw things I shouldn't see. Like one time, oh gosh, I'll tell this story. My family had this uncle, and he was an uncle that was always partying. I remember him being a little kid, and my family were talking about my uncle, like, and I was like, you guys need to be nice. Like, if he dies tomorrow, you're gonna feel bad. He died easily. Like, I see things. It's very interesting. Like, I see things. That's a gift that I have. Really, like a visionary, but I don't know, maybe this is some extra sense. But I
love it.
I see things in people. I see things in people. And that's why I say I love to develop people, because I see things in people and I'm like, this is what's meant for you. And I know you can do it. And like, this is my thoughts of how you can do it, right? And so like, that's why I've been able to, I'm really proud, I've been able to help people, like Glenbow or Megna Destani, like to be able to, or Shaquila to be able to become an EQ coach, or, Ashley, no one who knew who Ashley Hovez was. And then, all of a sudden now we're talking, and like, I'm spreading word about her, and then she's got her startup group. And like, I see that in you, like, what you do with branding and the photography that you take, the creativity. I mean, like these headphones. These headphones.
Oh, people can't see them. Like, we will be putting this on YouTube, but for the podcast.
Like, who buys these headphones?
I know.
Jessica buys these headphones. I went for a photo shoot with her in Chicago, and she's like, you're going to put on these headphones so we can do photos of you doing your podcast. Who buys these headphones?
So they're smiley face headphones for those of you that can't see it on the podcast. But we also had purple ones because that's her brand color. So you switch them out. It's so fun.
Who does that stuff, right? Jessica does that stuff.
With a smile.
I know this is a podcast, so like showcase like what I'm doing, but like I'm a fangirl of what you're doing, which is why I keep coming back to you. And I'm like, we need to do more photos because you're so creative. Like, you see things, you have that gift as well, right? It's a different gift than what I have, but you have a gift of like seeing somebody's vision in your head, and all of a sudden you're like, you bring it to life in photography, and it's really special. And so like, I want to see you do more of that. And like, you could be helping everybody in the world. At least for now, I see you're helping dentists, which
I'm trying to get them to understand.
Not like me, like Russell's like, I need you to teach funnels to everybody in the world. I'm like, I kind of love my dentist, right? And even Michael Stelzner, social media examiner. I'm actually going to be, this is so cool. I'm so like, okay, Dental Boss
Yes.
win. So I'm going to be speaking on social media examiners having a Facebook summit. And I'm actually one of a few, they just have a few speakers. I'm actually one of their featured speakers for that,
That's
which
amazing.
is pretty cool because again, I'm a dentist. Like, how does it get dentist get to be there?
Woman.
But again, even him, he's like, you need to do like everybody. I'm like, no, I need to do dentists because that's my people.
But you spoke Funnel Hackers Live, 5,000, like, you know, that weren't dentists. Youpreneur Summit in London. I was there. Like, you spoke to, how many people were there? I mean,
I don't know. That was a few hundred people. Here's my youpreneur.
I love it. That was so much
showing
fun.
her my little youpreneur, like, I don't know, what is this? Like a double decker.
Yes,
like,
bus.
Yeah.
And I love it. I was supposed to go last year, and because of my competition, I didn't get there. I was so bummed. But no, I think it's all amazing. And so to go way back, just so those of you know how we actually met, I had listened to one of her podcasts and ended up going to one of her summits, and we did not know each other. It was a summit in Jamaica, and Jamili Pedro. So like, if you're listening out there, just a big thank you and shout out to you from Aqua Dental Loft, because she introduced us. Like, she did not stop that weekend because she had been following me on social media. She was part of your inner circle, right? I believe. And she was like, I will do everything and anything, like, to get the two of you together. You're the creative, you're the strategist, like, you two need to meet. And finally one afternoon by the pool, finally, you know, we got out, it was like after hours, everyone's like out having drinks, and she pulled us together, like pushed us to a corner and said, you two sit there and talk, you need to meet, and then the rest was history. So from that point on, like I said, we've been together in many places, my gosh, from Jamaica to New Orleans to Nashville to London to Chicago. Seem to meet up in a bunch of different places. Following you, huge fan, obviously, what you're doing too, because it's all so incredible and amazing. And following your journey, it's been fast and furious. But I have seen just, yeah, you empowering so many people and how they've changed, and the groups like you're creating. I love it so much. And I'm so happy, like, you're happy. I was just saying the other day, the same thing is that you get to a place sometimes in dentistry when you have, you know, these other big grandiose passions. I was saying too, like, I've done the cosmetic dentistry, I've done all of the things, and I got reached out, two dentists actually reached out over the weekend talking to me about cosmetic dentistry, which was interesting. And so I kind of took a pivot there. I was helping them with some cases, new practice owners, and I, you know, wouldn't have thought that they didn't see, you know, and they're showing me the pictures and everything. I'm like, you can't go in, you know, for veneers on that. You need to expand the arch first, and then you can do an aligner, and hey, that man's getting married, you can do Propel and expedite the treatment. They're like, what's Propel? I was like, oh my gosh, like, let's go there. And it was so fun for me, like you're saying, to step in, and suddenly it was fulfilling because I do all of the things, and I've kind of hit that threshold of what I can do in dentistry. I do it really well, and I love it, and I do it all the time. But I think I am more fulfilled in teaching that to others, which, you know, all of a sudden this weekend I was like, gosh, it's like if they can do the dentistry they're loving and then also like have that out in front of people, which is their brand, it would just be so good. So, you know, I too am stepping slowly into this space, and so excited. It feels so good. So yeah, where do people, I mean, I know you are doing a summit next year again, right? In Jamaica.
Yes, it's back in Jamaica.
Yes. So good. Love it. Is it going to be the same venue that everyone loves?
I think this is going to be the last time here, and then we'll change it, but it's so good. Like,
it's so good. Yeah. Agreed. Like, yeah, I mean, even I can't, the pools and the water and the
fire pits at night, and
yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the weather, it's all perfection. You get to live there every day, but for those of us that are here, if somebody wanted to get started, so like they're listening to this and obviously they've known about you and all of this stuff, which can be a little bit overwhelming, right? To hear it all. But someone that wants to step in, where would they start? Where would you suggest?
You know what? Like, if you are a dentist, join our Facebook group. Like, it's free. And that way you can connect with other dental bosses. So it's dentalbossmovement.com. That's the best place to start. And, you know, from there, if you are ready to take action and move into, you know, becoming more of a dental boss, or, you know, understanding how to grow and scale your business, like join one of our challenges. Like that's the best way. Like start small, and once you have that win, then you will have, you'll get excited about learning the next step, right? I think that's always the best place to start, is at the beginning. You know, and we have other people that, like Cassandra, you know, Cassandra Joseph said, no, I see you tell that person, what, just tell me what I, same as the two side. You're going to do it. Yes. I know you're flying out, you're going to be doing some stuff for her practice. She's the same way. She's started off and she's like, no, she's like, I need to join your inner circle. So she's like, I want to bypass Facebook boot camp. I'm going to bypass all of it. Do I get all of that stuff in inner circle? Yeah. Okay. I want to be in your inner circle. Does that mean I get to like contact you, call you anytime? Like, yeah. All right, cool. I want to be in that one, right? So she and Cassandra, Candy Cole, Karen Luckett,
love
like
them.
Oh,
women.
They're all in my like Carolyn Crow. She's awesome. She was on the cover of AAPD. Like it's mainly like women, but like all these like dental rock stars. So some of them are just like, all right, just get like I want, and I guess that's kind of like me. I guess I'm kind of like that too, right? Because I'm like, I want the best photos. Who's getting best photos in the industry? Jess. I call it Jess. Like, it didn't even matter how much you were going to charge me. I shouldn't say that because I need to do another one. But like, I had already made a decision that like.
You used everything though. You used your stuff.
Of course. Yeah. You know, but I knew you could help me. Like I saw what you had done for others, and I was like, I'm all in, right? So like, if you know you're all in, reach out to me on Facebook or whatever, and let's have a call and like see how we can help you, right?
Right.
But you know, I guess the thing is that there's always whatever you want to achieve. Again, whether it's, you know, I want to have a more beautiful Instagram page, or more beautiful website, or I want to grow my business, or like whatever you want to do. Like I want to get fitter, I want to have better meals at home. Like there's always an expert. Like I want to learn YouTube, so I hired a, you know, so there's always somebody that has the knowledge of what you want to achieve. And so either go in as like, let me just discover at first, you know, let me have that trust built and then like go all in, or just make a decision to do due diligence and just go all in, right? Because there's always, and that way you get to, honestly, getting to become that rock star dental boss is really about freedom. And so the faster you can figure out all of the stuff that's holding you back, the faster you can get there. And so to me, that was the biggest advice. Like I remember that I got from one of my mentors, Russell, actually. And he says, you know, the fastest way to success is to find the person who has the knowledge of what you want to achieve, and you beg them to give you, you know, all of the money. And so like, I've done that so many times. I've had so many coaches. I'm like, I want to learn funnels. Okay. I'm going to hire Russell. I want to learn to grow and scale a business from 1 to 5 and 5 to 10 million. And so I hired an expert to help me with that. Or I want to understand how to do, you know, right now is YouTube, or I want to understand how to grow and scale a dental business. So I hired like grow and scale coaches. And so again, like that's to me the biggest advice I can give you. And it doesn't have to be me, it could be someone else. But to me, that's the shortcut to success.
You inspired me. Yeah, shortcut to success. You speak to that all of the time, which is why I hired a coach for my membership instead of just throwing it up. So I was working fast and furious during that downtime, building things, and no one knew what I was doing. It was just a mess. And I was just trying to help people, but I was way out in front and no one knew really what I was doing. And that's okay. I've stepped back. I hired a coach that's slowing me down and making me take, you know, things like for what they are. And we're building things the right way, and it feels so good. So because of you, like I said, and listening to you, hired an expert to get me there. And so I'm so thankful to you for that, because we're doing it the right way. And my hopes with that obviously is that it works, right? Because things work when you hire somebody that knows what they're doing and can get you there that much faster than it would be if you were trying to figure it out yourself. And
absolutely. When I heard you had a coach for your membership, I'm like, yay!
Yes, twice a week. Like tonight we meet with her, Kajabi Karen. So Maddie's here with me. So two nights a week, building it out. It's really great because she's teaching us to do it. You know, it's funny because she has to recheck me quite a bit. Like, we're right here, right now. Like, you know me, I'm that visionary that just wants to see the end and I want to keep moving. And she's like, we're going to finish this. We're going to focus.
So I'll share with you. I have another. I hired about 3 coaches over COVID. Okay, so I hired another coach to help me with virtual events, because I want to throw like this really cool virtual event and just train people, and not just have dental summits, but like really cool experiences with virtual events. So like you come on and there's like, oh, you would love this, Jess.
I
Like,
would love it.
yeah, like you have like little like emojis, but like it's like a little like, so like bring it, send out swag boxes. Oh, let me just
Stop
okay.
it.
I can't
Okay,
show,
I'm dying.
like if like we're recording now, but I go and get it and show you. But like literally like little emojis, and they're like on a stick. So like depending on what people feel, they can post the emoji. Anyway, like I hired somebody to help me create these amazing experience for virtual events. And actually, before I was on this call, just now, we had a little call earlier because we're in an all-day workshop. And so I decided to take a break, have lunch. We're having this call and go back in. Anyway, what she was saying about coaches is that the reason why you hire coaches or you hire people who have the knowledge is because you want somebody to teach you the only thing you have to know, like the least amount you have to do. Because like if knowledge was the answer, like Googletopia would have solved it. Like everybody would be rich, everybody would like achieve their goals, because knowledge is not, there's no issue with knowledge. Like there's an abundance of knowledge. What a good coach does is, or someone who's a mentor or whatever, right, is that they will say, no, you don't need to know all of that. Just do this.
The one thing.
And when you have somebody that says, just do this, and you're like, oh, I can just do that. So then you're not overwhelmed. You're like, I can do that. And next thing you know, like you're doing it, and then you're doing it well, and you're doing it faster. And then they've seen so many people do things well that they now have created their own process of how you can get there even faster if they have experience, which is so awesome. And so to me, that's another thing that's another reason why I believe in the power of just finding people that know whatever it is that you want to learn how to do. So yeah, I mean, I know this podcast is a little different. Like, yeah, we're talking about dentistry, but like, this is some real stuff, guys. And so like, if you want to learn how to do anything, there's somebody out there. You want to learn how to cook, like you go find somebody, and next thing you know, like you're cooking, you know what I mean? Right. So it's pretty cool.
Well, that's what I wanted for the podcast more or less too, is like, I love the whole girl boss movement. Like so many of us are multi-passionate, so many dentists, and, or like if dentistry is their thing too, like you can be so much better, do so much better. Growth, right? At the end of the day, it's growing, because you never want to stop doing that. Yep. So it's just finding your thing. And so this, for me, has been an awesome outlet of just amazing, just brilliant women that are just doing all of these other things, you know, along with, like I said, being moms and doing the dentistry, being amazing leaders. And we can learn from each other for sure.
Yeah, and if you're married, being a good wife too. You're like, I told you where we're going next month. My husband and I, we're going to Rock House.
Well, you know what? Since we're women, and I don't know if other people are listening, but one thing about being a good wife is fulfilling our cup, right? First, because what you find, and what we've found probably with a lot of people, is that when there isn't enough of you left, like the exhaustion from the stress and whatnot, like you have to. When you step into happiness, your happy place, your purpose, your passion, you become a better mom, a better wife, like a better boss, like a better to everybody, because you're fulfilled. So that's, if you haven't found it, find it, because to your point, there is someone out there that can help you. You know, you just have to sit, I think, with yourself. I find, you know, women don't give themselves enough time to be alone, to take a moment, you know, that gift of time, and give themselves grace to actually go there, to get a pen and paper and journal, or look at what their, you know, vision forward, what their dream practice would look like. I know you do that with vision boards and things. I'm a huge vision board person too. I love vision. I think it's so powerful. But that's the only way that they're going to be able to, you know, like I said, get there. And life is too short, which is where we started this conversation. So I love it. So, I mean, it's a great place to kind of close us out. And you mentioned, so just kind of at the end, just to kind of wrap, I think you're amazing, and thank you so much for being here. You're doing tremendous, incredible things. I love watching and following and being part of it. And so just to kind of, I know you said it a little bit ago, but to close, where people should go to find you, if you want to just let people know.
You know what? The easiest place, Jess, is just deliveringwell.com.
Okay.
So if you go to our website, deliveringwell.com, that's the best place to start. You'll get if you want to join our Facebook group, all of the information is there. You want to learn about a book. If you want to get into our marketing programs, if you want help growing your business, everything is there on our website.
Awesome.
And you can reach out to me on Facebook Messenger.
Yeah. And her book is a great place to start if you want to learn more about her. I have read it. I have a few copies even here in my space. I have gifted it to people. It's amazing. So you can definitely get that, on Amazon, right? Or where?
Absolutely. Delivering, or you can get a free copy at deliveringwellbook.com. Maybe that's the best place to start. Deliveringwellbook.com. You can get a free copy.
Yeah, amazing place to start. I feel like it will graduate them into all of the other things. All right. Well, thank you so much for spending this time today. I know you are a super busy woman and mom, so thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Until next time.
Thanks for having me. I look forward to chatting soon.